The success of Hogwarts Legacy is the perfect example of why people shouldn't listen to the woke activist mob, to stop bending the knee to these freaks on the internet who want to cancel someone who doesn't agree lockstep with every single thing they do. Because J.K. Rowling is someone who agrees with 99.9% of what the woke mob wants her to believe in, but because she has one opinion that differs, the belief that there's a biological difference between men and women, you know, the one that 99.9% of all normal people in the world agree with, that's why they want to destroy her. She laughed at that. And of course, she's got fuck you money. Let's not pretend. The Harry Potter series has sold over 500 million copies around the world. It's massive. But she did not bend the knee. She said, you know what? I'm going to keep saying exactly what I think, and you're not going to stop me. You're not going to cancel me. And this is the end result. Hogwarts Legacy in just the first 2 weeks, massive sales. And in reality, this number is probably over $1 billion at this point in time, you know, a couple weeks after this initial report. But that has not stopped people from displaying their ignorance about the entire subject. From these woke activists who in reality agree with probably most of the things J.K. Rowling believes, but because this one thing, because they have been so focused on this one opinion, they want to tear her down. They want to cancel her, which is why you have people like this making absolute fools of themselves. This is Dr. Charlotte Proudman. Now, I had to make sure this wasn't a parody account. No, this person's real. They run a podcast. They write for The Guardian. They're an absolute lunatic. But look at this tweet. I've never liked Harry Potter. I didn't even finish the first book. Potter is an English schoolboy genius living in a largely male, white fairy tale land that looks like Oxbridge for the elite. He's a little patriarch that resorts to magic and violence to rule. Again, I had to make sure that this wasn't a parody account. And all this person is a joke. This is not a parody. This is real. Feminist. Director at Right to Equality. There's their little activist page with 3,000 followers. Right to Equality. They even do podcasts. Inequality in medicine. Dispelling the gender pain gap and sexism in healthcare. Anti-Semitism and misogyny, coercive control, gaslighting, and patriarchal bargaining, revolutionary feminists. Everything about this woman is effectively a treasure trove of woke nonsense. But when they put this out here, was no surprise, they got absolutely obliterated. Here's Blaz with the response, but you could see 4,300 comments to 1,500 likes because, as it is with most of these people, they just spout talking points. If you've ever read Harry Potter, and I'm sure a lot of you in the audience have at one point, you know that this could not be further from the truth. Other than, is it a mainly white story? Yeah, it is. Do you know why? Because the story's set in 1990s UK. Spoiler alert, it's mostly white. That doesn't mean it's all white. There's a couple black students, there's a couple Indian students, and representation probably pretty in line with at least what that point in time was in the UK. And it's not like it's just men. There's plenty of women in the story. Hermione, one of Harry's best friends, is the best student in their grade, and of course, she's a woman. This entire tweet is an absolute joke, but this is really what J.K. Rowling derangement syndrome looks like. That's why these people who would have been perfectly happy to align themselves with a very progressive woman in J.K. Rowling, that's now why they're coming out against these things, and it's why they're getting destroyed. Your second sentence explains why you have no understanding of the wizarding world. Second sentence is, I didn't even finish the first book, yet you feel free to say all these things. He's a little patriarch that resorts to magic and violence to rule. Harry Potter doesn't rule. He's not a genius. Harry Potter couldn't do anything without help from his friends. Is he really good at a couple things? Yeah, he absolutely is. He's great at Quidditch because he's great. He's a natural at flying a broomstick. And then also, he's very naturally good at defense against the dark arts. But with a lot of other things, he struggles. He's not particularly exemplary at a lot of other things in the magical world. He gets lucky, and he has a lot of help from people along the way to do what he needs to do. But anyway, this is not a Harry Potter class. This is making fun of this woke woman and her getting destroyed. I can't fathom how much courage it must have taken for you to say this 25 years after the first book was published. That's one view. Another is that Harry Potter books engendered a love of reading amongst millions of kids and adults, some of whom thereby expanded their horizons to become students of Cambridge academics when they might not have. Of course, this person brags about, being a Cambridge academic and then saying, how dare your fairy tale land look like Oxbridge for the elites? Very ironic coming from these people. How far did you get in the book to reach this conclusion? It's the story of an orphan boy who endures years of childhood abuse at the hands of his uncle Aunt and is made to live in a cupboard under the stairs before he finds magic and builds a life. No wonder you've not read the books. Take your hot take elsewhere. What is wrong with you? Should Harry Potter be a gender dysphoric schoolboy that comes from a non-binary relationship from parents that are he, she, they? Would that make it more acceptable? And this is not the first person who's continuing to get roasted, who's continuing to double down on these takes when clearly it's not shared by the majority of people. Hogwarts Legacy, by both the critics and the fans, is loved right now, and it is a massive, massive success, adding to the pockets of J.K. Rowling, who's already filthy rich. There's no doubt about that. But you can't pretend. These people cannot pretend like they are the moral authority. They can't pretend like they're in the majority of people. Most people, the vast majority of people, don't think like this. And that's why with 2.5 years of buildup to try to boycott this game, all of these people have completely and totally failed. It's not even close. They have no impact, and no one should listen to woke activist freaks like this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.